winners today, 97-73. They had this game in control from very early on.
Really good performance from the Kings. Just came out with a vengeance to open the game. Made life tough at the defensive end for the Bullets. They made life tough for Robert Franks all night. 5 of 17 from the field for the Brisbane Star. And down the other end, just got rolling. Jarrell Martin, big night, big afternoon of work from him. 19 points and 12 rebounds. Dejan Vasiljevic and Angus Glover, everyone piling on the points. And no fourth quarter issues today. They're up by 28 at three-quarter time. Powered their way to a big win. There you see Martin and Vasiljevic leading the way. Xavier Cooks also terrific this afternoon. And the Bullets just never really got going at the offensive end. And you see the shooting percentages, just 35% from Brisbane from the field.
And you've got to credit the Kings defence for that. And they needed to respond. Chase Buford was looking for it, and that's the perfect way to do it on your home floor. Start with that energy. It was starting from Xavier Cooks, Jarrell Martin. Jalen Adams has arrived. That's going to help them. That's how you bounce back in the Bullets. Just keep looking for that word consistency. We need to see it.
Let's take a look at the ladder. We just mentioned that Brisbane were in the 4 coming into today's game. They've been bounced in a big way. Now the Taipans have gone ahead of them, and from the Sydney Kings, they go one step up the ladder as well. Coming up next, Tasmania take on South East Melbourne at MyState Bank Arena. The Phoenix looking to bounce back, and the JackJumpers, their first game since New Year's Day. We'll see you in just a minute.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Trade.
Yeah, this is the left one. Camera left, camera left. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Camera left. Hey, hey, hey.
We are moments away from tip-off, which means we now need you to make some noise and get into the spirit. Let's blow the roof off.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Trade.
Welcome to MyState Bank Arena in Tasmania for Game 2 on Sunday Hoops. The JackJumpers back at home, and in their first game since New Year's Day. They've had their challenges with COVID running through the team, but they're back out there with the full complement this afternoon. And for the South East Melbourne Phoenix, in their return game from COVID protocols last week, disappointing 16-point loss to the Brisbane Bullets. It's a chance for them to get back on the winners list. Jack Heverin joined in commentary by Liam Santamaria and Pete Julian. Well, the JackJumpers, Liam, have found themselves having a pretty good record when they play in their home gym this year.
They've been tough at home, yeah. Last time they played Melbourne United. Pretty tough, didn't get over the line, but as you say, it's been a big, long break for them. And for South East Melbourne, desperately looking to bounce back, thumped by Brisbane last week. And here you see the DoorDash starting lineup for the JackJumpers. Josh Majette, I got my eyes on him today. They need him to get back to being the floor leader, needs to lift his assist rate, and they need to find a way to get Will Magnay involved.
Well, they do, and it's going to take a committee because the Phoenix are deep. They are one of the deepest rosters in the league, and they're coming out for revenge, just not based on the league. They've been stumbled over the last 2 games. They had a big break between those games. But Tassie play well at home, and that's what they're going to be banking on to bring the energy here at the Nest.
Are we going with the Nest?
I'm happy with the Nest.
2 wins, 2 losses on their home floor so far this season, the Tasmania JackJumpers. The Phoenix come into this game 3rd on the table, 3 wins and 2 losses. It is a very small sample size because they have been one of the teams most affected by COVID and the cancelling of games. The DoorDash starting fives for the Phoenix. Hungry, fire up DoorDash and order your game day essentials now.
Well, Mitch Creek's been a superstar. Second in the league in scoring, shooting the ball from three-point territory at a really high clip. Joe Chi was a bit quiet last week. My understanding, talking to people at the Phoenix, he was really unwell over the course of their break. It never tested positive, but was probably their most unwell over the course of that time. So had the heavy legs last week, and they'll be looking for him to come out and have a big impact.
And here is a big signing for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They've had a little bit of trouble filling one of their import spots. They've had a couple of fresh air swings, but this is a really good signing for them. Brandon Ashley returns to the NBL, played for New Zealand 2 seasons ago, averaged 10.5 points a game, 6.5 points a rebound, and built up a bit of a reputation as a rim protector.
Well, he did. I mean, that's blocking Houston Rocket to Sean Tate. There's Peter Lizardo, so this is what he can do. And this is, well, they were already a deep team before Brandon actually signed. I think it's a great signing for them. Provides a different dimension for them to be able to go out there and play with him. See there, that's on Casper where he can switch on to guards. Whether he can play alongside Joe Chi, he can play alongside Mitch Creek. They can use him in a different variety of ways. And again, they're extremely deep now, and you add this kind of talent to it, and Phoenix are a dangerous squad. They've just got to show right now. Biggest thing for them is not all going cold on the same night shooting the ball. The last 2 games, they've struggled until the last quarter to hit a couple 3 balls.
What will their expectations be for Brandon Ashley first up today, Liam?
We're just trying to get him into the mix, into the rotation, find out where he fits in that roll off the bench. And I like this. First play going straight to Mitch Creek. Has the advantage in that matchup with Jack McVeigh. Rolled it into him down low, didn't finish. We mentioned Joe Chi, just 2 points and 5 rebounds last week. Leads the league in blocks, but that's a really quiet night for his lofty standards.
Only played 17 minutes, which is under his season average as well, which speaks to your point about him perhaps being a little unwell. That's 2 fouls in 30 seconds to start the game for the JackJumpers.
That hurts. They're both on Sam McDaniel. He's going to take a quick sit down. And he's their leading defender to be able to try and limit Xavier Munford, who's averaging 17 points and 4.5 assists. So quick, early substitution. Back Kenyon into this game after 27 seconds.
He'll have the job of trying to chase around Xavier Munford. Here he is driving. First points in the game go the way of the Phoenix.
I mean, how good you feel being Xavier Munford. You get the leading defender on the other team in two fouls within the first 30 seconds. Then your eyes open up. Backup coming in.
Here's Majet through the lob for Magnay.
Big play. Got to get Will Magnay going, and Majet's the guy to do it. Love that play. Pick and roll. Throw it up to the big fella.
Chi has a fumble at the other end. Adams pushes the issue, pulling up in transition.
Solid! Load! Load!
The Phoenix settle in offensively at the other end. Creek. And the Alpha swings to Brokoff. That's a nice look early on for him. Three-point shooting, not their strong suit so far this season. Tasmania, 10th in the competition in that stat. In fact, shooting stats, 9th, 10th, and 10th. In field goals, 3 points, and free throws, respectively. That's an error. So we get courtside for the first time this afternoon and welcome in Anthony Stewart to the coverage. Stewie, that's a nice look for Will Magnay first up.
Yeah, it is a really important look for him. He's been down on form. I'm being told by Coach Roth and the team that he's 100%. So no excuses tonight. They really need him to step up to be any chance against the Phoenix.
Averaging 6 points a game, 4.5 rebounds a game. Adams drives. Nice D from Creek, made life difficult. Then Creek gets to the other end. As the 3 jump out. Adams' pass was telegraphed. Phoenix have got a 3-on-2. There's Creek, and there's 2 more.
Josh Adams has just made a couple of suspect decisions in these first couple of minutes offensively. The pull-up trans 3 early in the clock, missed wildly, and then that long-range bounce pass. They're going to need to be really tight today against the talent of this Phoenix squad, the JackJumpers, if they're going to be in it.
Shot clock down to 3 for Majet. Magnay drops out for 3. He's got all 5 of their points.
It's a big knockdown, and that's going to be there. The way Joe Chi plays those ball screens, they want to keep Joe Chi towards the rim. They keep bringing him into on balls. The way he just slowly steps back, wants to make you do something else that you're not comfortable doing. Will Magnay makes him pay there. Just steps into it confidently. Another turnover. That's the start. Everybody would have wanted for Will Magnay.
It's Josh Adams of the Tasmanian imports. We've seen his best at New Year's Day against Melbourne. Very good on that occasion, 23 points, and really kept Tasmania in it for a lot of it. They only went down by 4 to Melbourne, and we've seen the destruction that Melbourne have been wreaking in the competition in the last month.
Well, he's their leading scorer, 16 points a game, but he's been at his best. He's been attacking the rim. When he's been making a really concerted effort to put pressure on the rim, on the officials, on the defense, get to the free throw line.
Good news for Tassie fans. He averages 19 in home games across the season so far. Chi had the seal. McIntosh did well not to foul. One of Tasmania's other imports goes to the other end and draws a foul of his own.
It's a good start from McIntosh. Just absorbed the roll from Joe Chi. Did enough to make him miss it on one end, and then... Oh, cops a little. An elbow from McIntosh. Ryan Brokoff.
Well, he's on notice, Mikhail McIntosh. Scott Roth put him on notice publicly this week. Said, look, we've had conversations. We've let him know we need him to increase his production. 5 points and 3 rebounds per game over the course of the season to this point. Just 30% from the field, 10% from long range. So he's thrown him out there early in this first quarter. Good start, playing a little bully ball, get to the free throw line. But Scott Ross not messing about, saying, we need you to play better and give us more.
He's capable of it. Averaged 11 points a game in the G League a couple of seasons ago.
That's an offensive foul. Mitch Creek moving on the screen, but spoke about the impact Will Magnay has had. He's played 3.5 minutes, 5 points, got that dunk. He's already out of this game. Subbed out very quickly for a man who started this one just the way they would have liked.
And as Anthony Stewart told us, 100% fit coming into today. Chris Levick, who came into the game for Magnay, he's shooting it just like Magnay.
Well, that helps. That works nicely. The Phoenix just leaving him open to shoot that shot. And I spoke to Scott Roth in the lead up to this game, and he said, look, we've had a chance to look at how these teams have come out after long breaks, and they've been whacked in their opening quarters. We're going to go with some short, sharp rotations to begin this one. So that's why you see Magnay come out, get on the bike, and I imagine he'll be back in after a couple of minutes, and you see him ringing the changes already. Mikhail McIntosh in early. I think Josh Adams is going to check out. So that's the philosophy coming into this one, to avoid that slow start we've seen from some other squads.
Timeout. 5 3/4 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. The JackJumpers out to a 5-point lead, I should say, 9-4. Scott Roth would be pleased, no doubt.
It's very simple. This is thanks to our friends at Chemist Warehouse. You just need to put your arms up like this if you think he's going to make it. And like
We'll stay in it.
If you think he's going to miss.
Yeah, with the wedge.
Turn into the big screen.
Clint, you'll be the wedge. Yep.
Hey, 1, 2, 3 to get it in. 1, 2, 3 to get it in.
Hey, I might come with the terror if they're up.
Slow. And take him deep. And then we'll go. If they bite, throw it over the top. We'll slot cut, go to the second side. Hey.
Let's go high corner off of the wedge, right?
Yeah. No, I want you to pop. Pop, pop, pop. We'll slot cut with him, all right? Stay with it. Good energy. Together, 1, 2, 3 together.
It would normally be at about this stage of the game that Scott Roth would sub the captain of the JackJumpers, Clint Steindl, into the game, but they've scored the last 7 points, and this group's working, Liam. He's going to stick with them.
Well, it won't be long till he's out there, Steindl, and they'll run some action for him and try to get him some looks. Been in really good form, but prior to this little break. Sloppy start from the Phoenix. On the flip side, it would have been really interesting to hear what Simon Mitchell had to say in there. With 5 turnovers in the opening 4 minutes and change, and some missed finishes around the rim that were really, really makeable. So a bit like what we saw. Here is Clint Steindl.
Yeah, late change. He comes into the game with immediate effect.
Well, they're trying to bring the pressure up the floor. Everybody trying to run and jump, get those traps, but the problem was that's a pure shooter who comes off the bench, and as soon as he knocks down his first one wide open like that, it's going to be a long night. Everything that is contested becomes a layup for Clint Steindl.
6th in the competition, Steindl, for first quarter points. So they can get going quickly at the start of games. McIntosh had good position on Leafa. Nice find. Tasmania have scored the last 12 points.
That's where he's at his most comfortable, Mikhail McIntosh. He's a little undersized down there in certain matchups, but really strong. And here, the Phoenix, another fumble. Tassie's pressure, and now 10 seconds on the shot clock to play with.
That might settle things from Leafa.
Talk about Steindl, 6th in the competition in first quarter scoring. That's for a guy coming off the bench. Really, really impressive, immediate impact.
Jet unsuccessful. 5 turnovers, Hulls, for the Phoenix in the opening quarter. It's not a good number.
That's 6. Josh Majette, I thought we were going to get at least a ball tap. We didn't get it. And another turnover. And Phoenix, they've started very slow. In their last 2 games, they were a long time apart. There's a foul there for a hold, but they were down 31-6 against Brisbane. After their long layoff with the COVID, we know they dealt with that. But before that, we're down 15 to the Kings. So slow starts have been a bit of an issue for the Phoenix.
There's Brandon Ashley. Some first quarter minutes.
Meanwhile, for Tassie, their pressure paying dividends. They're first in the league in steals, 2nd in turnovers forced. As mentioned by Paolo Kennedy in his preview on the NBL website today, if you can get to the backside of their pressure, Creek draws the foul there, gets to the free throw line, you can get good things. They give up a lot of easy looks, teams shoot a high percentage against them, and they get a lot of free throws as well, as Creek was able to draw there. But you've got to handle their pressure up the court and on the perimeter, and get to the backside of your offense to try to take advantage.
And a fantastic start to the season, Mitch Creek. 3rd in the competition, 3 points made, averaging 22.5 a game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. One of the early leading candidates in MVP voting. I stress early.
Well, he just does everything so well, doesn't he? And kind of like the matchup with McIntosh trying to slow him down. Gets called for the foul there. We know McIntosh has an issue with fouling. He's had 23 fouls this season before that one.
Agent 97, Jared Weeks, comes in. The Jet sitting down. Glidden reaching in is whistled. Next foul from either team will result in free throws. Both teams have had their issues staying out of foul trouble. There's Phoenix coach Simon Mitchell. McIntosh met by Ashley.
Well, that's the impact Brandon Ashley has. Good timing on that block.
Creek to the other end of the floor. Tough finish. He's got 6 of their 11. Steindl bombs away. So the points will count. A foul after the play on Josh Adams.
Well, Kyle Adnam went flying. You see the 3 here from Steindl, just strides into it late to pick up, and then on the weak side here, Adams a little extra contact. They've called that an unsportsmanlike, have they? No, bonus free throws for Adnam. Steindl, a couple of early knockdowns from three, 50% from the field, 42% from three on the season. Steindl having a really efficient, excellent year as the captain of the Ants.
There's green lights and there's the Clint Steindl light. Man, that's his role, is to come in and just hunt the shots. And once he knocks down his first one, he's probably got three, four heat checks in him just off knocking down that first one, because that's just his role to bring.
What's the next level from a green light?
Fluorescent.
Let's give it that. Plenty of green lights around in the league.
Well, Clint Steindl has well and truly earned his.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Over a long period of time. Started at Cairns, some time in Townsville, a bit of time out of the league, and then his championship winning stint in Perth. And there are very few players who do this better. Move off the ball and stride in to three-point looks.
Wasn't a mile away that time.
The issue is, because he's already knocked two down, everybody knows that he's going to catch and go up, and he just gets his feet set perfectly. You just got to hope he misses.
Broke-off, feet set in the corner. Krislovic holding on to Ashley. He's going to be whistled.
Good energy from Brandon Ashley. That's what Simon Mitchell was looking for. Trying to get on the glass. Oh, Broke-off came off the bench in the game against the Bullets, who just came out of COVID protocols. It was good towards the end after he got his feet underneath him. So he's just 4 of 23 from three so far this season.
And these first two in this first quarter were really good looks. That one in particular, wide open. So he is definitely struggling with his touch. And this is for a guy who in the pre-season was rolling. Coming into the year in terrific form and just hasn't been able to carry that over. As I say, sub 20% from out there over the course of the season.
Welcome to the league, Brandon Ashley. He's a generous man, isn't he? His first game, he's giving away burgers. Code word is play. For Tassie Hoops fans. McIntosh trying to get busy on Broke-off. He's forced a foul, and JackJumpers will get on the free throw line.
There's your answer. Liam got called out, said they want more from him, and they're giving him a chance. Throwing the ball to him, saying go to work. Show us what you can do.
I like how they're putting him in some screening actions to begin with and getting a bit of a switch. So there, you know, Mitch Creek is his primary matchup. That you're not necessarily going to roll it into him against Mitch Creek down there, but geez, if they switch and put a Ryan Broke-off or a Clem Glidden or a Ruben Tarangi on him, sure, roll it in, let him go to work and do what he does best.
Makes both. Pushes that lead out to 9 for Tasmania. They went on a 12-0 run midway through this first quarter, and hence the margin at the moment. Some of the best basketball we've seen from them all year in this first quarter. Nice pick and roll play. Ashley travels. Adam's got a hand in and just changed things up.
Looks good hands. And Ashley, it was a good little 1-2 game. Good timing. Get a piece of that.
JackJumpers have had multiple games cancelled and rescheduled and then postponed since New Year's Day. McIntosh steps out. That's fresh air. 1 of 11 from outside across the season.
Yeah, that hasn't been there. Probably just needs to put it away for a little while. Kyle McIntosh really gets himself going.
Ruben Tarangi into the game for the Phoenix. Cam Glidden out there, has been for a couple of minutes as well. The bench depth is there, and it's led by that man, the captain, Kyle Adnam.
Picking up where he left off last week. Bit of extended pressure from the Phoenix. So JackJumpers will get it back. 3 of 4 from long range last week in that loss to Brisbane. Kyle Adnam. And sticks his first look right there.
Green light category. Kyle Adam is in that category. Another one who's earned it for the way his role comes off the bench. Sam McDaniel here is sitting down after 27 seconds, getting those first 2 fouls.
.23.15. Minute and a half to go. Brandon Ashley acquainting himself to the league.
Wondering how Simon Mitchell's going to manage these rotations with Brandon Ashley coming into the mix. Well, the result is no first quarter burn here for Dane Pinot.
No.
A couple of early turnovers and a foul from Joe Chi. He comes out. Ashley comes in, but even Tohi Smith-Milner hitting the floor here in the first quarter ahead of Pinot.
Only one game last season for Dane Pinot with a back issue to start with, and then picked up a knee injury in his first game back. Previous season, though, was runner-up in the most improved player to Will Magnay. Just hasn't perhaps happened for him in his return this season, has it, Liam?
Well, I don't think he's been bad.
No, I'm not saying he's been bad, but is he just finding himself again, perhaps?
Yeah, I think so. Well, there's Adnam again, back-to-back triples from him. But I'd be interested to see a little bit of Pinot and Ashley out there on the floor together. Play Ashley at the 4, Pinot at the 5. Bit of length and activity there he can get defensively. Turnover from Josh Adams, but Simon Mitchell not turning to that here late in the first term.
Lead down to 5. Last minute of the first quarter. MyState Bank Arena looking fantastic again today. Great show of support from Tassie basketball fans. They love the way that they've been playing, but the Phoenix are finishing strong. There's Ruben Tarangi.
Great take from Ruben Tarangi, catching the ball on the move, so the defense has no chance to get back in front with the left.
Good, good. Let him run.
Magnay hands off to Majette. Magnay went upstairs. Ashley fouled him.
Watch 13.
Well, this is the second time they've gone for it, Majette and Will Magnay in this first quarter, the lob play. First one, of course, ended in a thunderous finish from the big fella, and I like it. This is where Will Magnay's at his best. He's a picker and a roller and a lob threat. It's not really a guy you're going to roll the ball to in the block and say, go to work, give us a bucket. More of that type of combination, and we saw him pick and pop as well, step out and knock it down. Putting him in some spaces where he's more comfortable to begin this game, and it's been effective.
I love the awareness to know that you had no chance to really dunk that, so come down with it rather than try and force something. It's a foul call. 4-point game. Phoenix should get the last shot here.
Should. Done their best to give it up. Now they will. Adnam has been hot in this first quarter to Glidden. It goes. Cam Glidden drains the 3, and the Phoenix, who are a long way down midway through this first quarter, will go into the break down 1, 24-23. It's quarter time in the Hungry Jacks NBL. You're watching Sunday Hoops. Quarter time at My State Bank Arena in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Tasmania, for the 4th game in a row, lead at quarter time, 24-23 over the southeast Melbourne Phoenix. All part of Sunday hoops. The JackJumpers will be pleased with the way that they've started. The Phoenix would be pleased with the way that they closed out the term. And Jessica Fisher would probably be pleased today as well. She's the winner of our $50 Kmart gift card. That's Hugo on your screen right now. Loves everything about basketball, loves Michael Jordan, and supports the Tasmania JackJumpers.
Good man. Got the little Air Jordan pose there. And for the JackJumpers, we spoke about Scott Roth coming in, wanted to rotate his bodies in that first quarter. Can't finish there at the rim. Josh Majette, Southeast Melbourne will take it. 16 of their 24 points off the bench in that first term. 4 of 6 from 3. Steindl, of course, coming off, knocking down a couple of looks. And for the Phoenix, 7 turnovers in that opening term. Way too many.
There's another one. Kenyon barrels straight into Glidden. That's a straightforward call for the officials.
That's a veteran play from Cam Glidden, knowing that Matt Kenyon always looking to pass first. He's there for his defense, for his energy. And Glidden just takes that one. Back-to-back turnovers. Start this second quarter.
It's not often that you'd say that Tasmania would lead at quarter time and Josh Adams scoreless, Josh Majette 2 points. But that's the story for them, as you spoke about, Liam, the bench punch that they've been given today.
Well, what I like about it, though, Josh Majette 4 assists. You know, he needs to, as we said off the top, get back to being that guy, sets his teammates up. Adam can't hit there. Foul call. The JackJumpers will take it, but for Majette, assists down the last few games. He had a 3-assist game, and then he had a 2-assist game against Melbourne United. So off to a good start here, setting his teammates up.
Let's get courtside to Anthony Stewart.
Yeah, guys, listening to Simon Mitchell, he was just talking about getting the ball to the second side. Be patient, no more turnovers. For the JackJumpers, I'd love to see both McIntosh and Magnay getting deep catches. I think good things happen. Magnay, I don't think, has touched the ball much outside the first few minutes.
There's confusion reigning here. Thank you, Stewie. Simon Mitchell wanted a timeout. There's Dane Pinot coming in for his first action this afternoon. False alarm on the timeout. No change to the score from quarter time as yet. Majette swings to Kenyon, wants to get him baseline, kicks it back out. Phoenix knew that it was coming. Adams put it behind the back, forced himself into a really tough look. Glidden controls things for the Phoenix. Adnam, Pinot, Tarangi, Smith-Milner, and Glidden on the floor. Not one starter out there for the Phoenix right now. Nice move, Tarangi. Got himself to a nice spot.
I like Tarangi's mindset coming into this game. He's been struggling from the perimeter over the course of the season. Just 3 of 12 from out there. As Adams scores at the rim. That's exactly what he needs to do. But so Tarangi, he's catching it on the move, on the wing there. One from the right side, that one from the left side, getting into the painted area and making plays.
The lead was as big as 10 in the opening quarter for the JackJumpers. Phoenix clawed their way back in. Glidden, right place, right time. Doesn't get it to go. 1 of 2 to start the game. Now Majette looks for Kenyon. They sat off. He makes them pay. Matt Kenyon's first 3-ball of the season comes at a good time. Phoenix extend that lead out to 4. Smith-Milner banging in on McVeigh. It drops. Former Melbourne United player Torrey Smith-Milner had a season out of the league back this year with the Phoenix. Adams. Unsuccessful.
Oh, Josh Adams just cannot buy one. He's 8 of 42 on the season, including 0 of 3 tonight. It's a good little pocket pass. Will Magnay. That's what he does well. Good timing on the block.
Fourth in the competition in that stat. Adams flies away at the other end. You were saying about Josh Adams?
Just cannot buy one from outside. Those last two are better looks. And the first one he shot was contested in transition. When you're struggling to shoot the ball, you need an easy one. That's too long in the key. Dane Pinot just trying to get guys open.
As I say, Pete, this is what Will Magnay does oh so well. His rim protection, sending Dane Pinot away. And I tell you, it's been an extended time on the bench for Joe Cheek.
Yeah.
In the first 4 minutes of the game, and as Brandon Ashley and Dane Pinot, Torrey Smith-Milner have all rotated through the game, he hasn't got back out there.
JackJumpers led it by 1 at quarter time. They've extended that by 1. Midway through the second period. Earlier today, it was the Sydney Kings, big winners over Brisbane, 97-73. Getting the job done by 24 points. Tomorrow night, it'll be the Illawarra Hawks and the Adelaide 36ers who'll be looking to bounce back. Kyle Adnam, the leading scorer for the Phoenix. He has 7. Will Magnay with 6 and has 3 rebounds and a big block to go with it. There's the rebound count. Will Magnay on top of that. Brandon Ashley in his first game for the Phoenix as well has 3 rebounds in a little under 7 minutes. And Josh Majette, 6 dimes so far in the game. He's top 5 in the competition for that stat.
Simon Mitchell ringing the changes a little bit here. 3 guys checking in, Creek, Munford and Liafa. But Cheese going to stay parked on the bench.
What's the thinking there, perhaps?
I don't know. Didn't have a great start. Had a little trouble guarding the ball screens at one end, a couple of turnovers down the other. Picked up 1 foul, but we know he can be a dominant force out there.
We kind of saw that in the first 4 minutes of the game against the Bullets, the way that they executed the scout. Joe Chi is an outstanding rim protector, but you bring him away from that, and all of a sudden he can be a bit detrimental to the team's defense because he doesn't move his feet that well. I mean, you know how tall he is, his wingspan. So to put him in those positions where he's uncomfortable, that's good defense overall. Everybody moving, everybody talking. Dane Pinot, he's an exceptional defender, especially of ball screens. That's something that really, we know he's a great rebounder, but the way he can defend ball screens was something that we saw when he had that massive year. That is way off by Ruben Tarangi. That's what Simon Mitchell was loving about him.
Steindl back into the game. He's open. It's a good look. Xavier Munford, only 2 points this afternoon. Averages 17 a game. 8th in the competition in that stat. Loose ball falls to the JackJumpers, who have 2 wins on the season. Both of them have come here at MyState Bank Arena. Offensive foul. Against Jared Bairstow. Magnay comes back out.
He's been active, Will Magnay, 6 points. A bit tired right now. Long and rest. Got 4 rebounds, a block. Working hard down there.
Nice pick and roll play. Dane Pinot. Just doing Dane Pinot things.
He's given him really good minutes since he's checked in this second quarter. Pinot, as Pete says, bringing some energy at the defensive end, jumping out. He's active defensively. And then they're rolling to the rim.
That's more like it. That's more like it from Mikhail McIntosh.
Well, he set the challenge. They want more from you. I love that the team was going to him early when he checked into the game, but playing with some confidence. That's all we want to see from Kyle McIntosh and the Jack Jumpers.
Liafa, the preferred starter this season, had one on the shot clock. Fair effort in the end. Offensive rebound, Pinot, out for Glidden. That misses two, and
well, that's
not going to go down next to Kyle McIntosh's name. Wrong end of the floor.
That's a Shackton a fall, but that possession there, that defense he had on Mitch Creek and then switch it, it's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but that's exactly what they need from him. Yes, he's ticking the scoreboard over as well, but just that energy. Looking like he was going to fake the handoff to the corner. No one really bought it, but just used his size. Got downhill.
Here we go. One.
Has 7 in the game. Averages 5 across the season. And the acid put on him during the week. Nice read off the rim by Bairstow. Steindl, foot inside the line. The Jack Jumpers back in front.
That'll frustrate Simon Mitchell. Just threw Joe Chi back in there. Gets out-rebounded by Jared Bairstow. And then Clint Steindl. That's an offensive foul. Mitch Creek bit out of control. Jared Bairstow having a little impact here.
155.
Second foul for Mitch Creek. Not too concerning with 3.5 minutes to go before halftime.
Well, they've got things on their terms right now, the Jack Jumpers, really controlling the tempo. This is the style of game that they want this to be, a slow, dire, hard-fought physical affair. That's how they're going to give themselves the best chance, and they've got it on their terms right now.
Adams slipped over and then lost it. Creek's got Glidden up ahead. He wants to take it himself and then hand off to Joe Chi.
Mitch Creek's the guy. And they're trying to turn things around energy-wise, get things going, get a bit of momentum your way, put the ball in Mitch Creek's hands. Right on cue. Takes the one through the chest, gets the turnover. Jump ball, good energy and effort from Mitch Creek.
This is the kind of playmaking Simon Mitchell talks about with Mitch Creek. So dynamic in the open floor. You can hit him on short rolls and he'll make good plays, but also in transition. And he finds Joe Chi striding to the hoop.
Jack Jumpers by 1. Their first game, as we mentioned, since New Year's Day.
What about Josh?
Simon Mitchell working the sidelines. Just making sure we got all of the perspiration off the floor. There's Scott Roth, the coach of the Jack Jumpers. They could trade notes on what it's like to start a franchise from scratch. The two youngest teams here in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
But I love that. It's one way you can really get Joe Chi involved. Call a couple plays for him. He's got the smaller Bairstow on him down that end. Set a couple cross screens, pin the ball down low, let him go to work. Straight away, Scott Roth not having it brings Will Magnay straight back into the game.
Creek got his man up in the air. Didn't finish. McIntosh up ahead. Took them all on himself. It's tipped out of the cylinder. Those points will count.
My error, it's green ball. Green ball here, my error. Hey, he tipped it straight to him. It's my error. Hit the ring, tipped it straight here. I'm going green ball. Green ball, 14.
I like that from Chris Reed. Shouldn't have blown his whistle.
Yeah.
He knows it. Joe Chi knocked it off the rim legally. And as soon as Chris Reed, the official, realised, he said, you know what? My bad. Here's Joe Chi. FIBA rules. Knocked that thing off.
Mitch Creek saying we had a chance for the rebound. Well, that ball went straight to Josh Adams in the corner. So you can look at it the right way. There's a flop warning on Xavier Mumford. The no call in transition. You can look at it that if you say Josh Adams is going to knock that down, it'll save you 3 points in the end. But I'm with you. I like that. Just rather than blowing the whistle and saying, well, got to be something there. Let's just go with it. my mistake, and ball was in Josh Adams' hands.
Well, often you see the officials and their pride kicks in, and they know they're wrong, but they just roll with the call anyway. So, I was in the cylinder, and you dug it out, and so on and so forth, and you just kind of stick with it. But I like it when they put their hands up and say, my error.
So it's a JackJumpers ball, and they utilise it beautifully. Nice backdoor cut. Josh Majette.
It's been Majette hooking up Magnay throughout this first half a few times, and there, Magnay returns the favour.
Coming up to 2 minutes before half-time. Majette had active hands that time. Now Adams surveys the floor. His pass intercepted by Munford. That's 4 turnovers for Josh Adams in a half of basketball. Creek took it to the rack. Magnay met him at the summit and then ended up flat on his back.
Oh, big man fall hard. Will Magnay along the baseline. Their elite timing to send that shot away. Creek gets the step. Magnay says, and then ends up in that front row. Piling into the chairs and the drinks and the kids. Hopefully everyone's okay.
Jace, our cameraman, nearly went over too. Nice outlet pass. Kenyon gets to the other end quickly. Timeout, Southeast Melbourne. Inside 2 minutes before the half. The Phoenix have conceded buckets off the last 2 possessions.
Well, they have. They've got 11 turnovers. That's going to be the biggest issue. You've got to look after the ball. You know it's hard to play away from home. JackJumpers have done well to build this energy, build a vibe. My State Bank Arena in the nest. And that's what it comes from, the defensive intensity. A couple of them have been careless turnovers. They've got to get a shot every time down the floor. You're too talented, too deep, not to make sure that you're getting at least somebody a good look.
38-33. JackJumpers have 2 wins so far this season. Have found themselves in most games, though, Pete, most games, in the hunt at half-time.
Well, they have, and over the last, well, we know we had the 3-week hiatus with the COVID protocols, but there's Will Magnay's impact. They started to slow down on the offensive end, and that was the biggest issue to start with. They were so erratic offensively. They came in, there was a lot of one-on-one stuff, nothing getting ball through hands. So that's still got to be if you're coming in to play the JackJumpers, you want to see them execute. You want to put them through in the half court, make sure they have to try and run through a set properly because they haven't shown it consistently over the course of NBL22. Now, you throw 11 turnovers, you give them easy buckets when the defense isn't set. They're going to take advantage of that. They've got enough talent out there to get out on the break, knock down open shots like Clint Steindl. You're the Phoenix, you can at least get a shot so you can set up your defense and make them have to earn it on the offensive end.
He's a man who sets very high standards for his team, Simon Mitchell. There'd be just some little things that I'm not sure he'd be too pleased with at half-time, Liam.
They've been sloppy. No doubt about it. Really sloppy turnovers. 11 and a half. That's way too many. Still got 2 minutes to play. And you know you would have been furious in that timeout right there because they would have spoken about it a quarter time. 7 in that opening term. And they haven't fully solved the problem. Oh, my!
Will Magnay sends Joe Chi packing. Brockhoff kept playing.
Well, they recovered the Phoenix and Brockhoff scored. Will Magnay sending shots away left, right and centre.
That's 3 in the first half. When he burst onto the scene, Will Magnay was doing things exactly like that. Nice tip out. Back to Kenyon and a fresh 14 to work with. Magnay putting it on the floor. Drew contact from Cheese. Had a really good first half.
Well, he's enjoying himself, isn't he? Noel started with the lob play, got him going to start this game. He's feeling good about himself. Look at the timing on this block. Goes to help on Mitch Creek and then just goes up and meets Joe Chi, who, just quietly, that might be a Santa's watching. Joe Chi nearly kicks McIntosh in the face. And Magnay just going straight at the big fella who wanted his revenge.
Okay, 2, let's go. Here we go.
But how good is he feeling? Feeling very active. Simon Mitchell getting Chi and Creek out.
Okay,
well, We spoke off the top about Joe G trying to bounce back from a quiet one. That's a rough first half. 0 points, 1 rebound, 0 blocks, couple of turnovers, couple of fouls. Be fascinating to see how he responds after the break.
Magno missing both free throws. 1 of 4 across the afternoon, 45% across the season so far. Tarangi being warned closely by Majet. Nice touch by the Phoenix, Brandon Ashley. Here is Josh Majet. One of the first signings for the JackJumpers. 26 NBA games with Orlando and Atlanta. His experience has been vital for this young team. And maybe McIntosh, and it's a chance that goes begging for the JackJumpers. The shot clock switched off here. The Phoenix look to finish with a rush. That's last touch by Southeast Melbourne. Oh dear.
Oh, timeout here. Scott Roth just wanted to draw something up. Finish halftime on the right note. Just a careless turnover there, 12th of the first half. No real pressure on that one. Just trying to make something happen off the ball, and bad pass gives Tassie a chance to go in with some momentum.
They average 11 turnovers a game, Liam. Come back to that after we hear from Scott Roth.
Jet. Clint over the top. Will. Jet down the sideline. Jet down the sideline. Will. Clint back again.
This guy, just come around here. Don't go into that gap. That's where I'm going to. You want to go to me to Clint or straight to Clint?
If you're open, we're going to you. If we're not, we're going back to Clint. Listen, I want you to start here. The ball's in. Run past the defender into the corner. All right? We don't want a turnover. So if you got to eat a ball, just catch it, eat a ball. Together, 1, 2, 3, together.
If you got to eat a ball, you got to eat a ball.
Sometimes that's the fact of the matter.
It's the same conversations we have as well. We also talk about trying to drain one from full court for $100,000. If you can't do that, do it from halfway for $50,000 with Latrobe Financial, who are great supporters of the competition. Details are on your screen. They do not want to turn this one over.
Is that the definition of eat a ball?
Or at least have a nibble of it.
Well, Smith-Milner ate a foul. But luckily it was just the 4th team foul. And the JackJumpers still 2 seconds to play with. Enough time to get something good.
Run the short with Clint. Run the short with Clint. Short with Clint.
Just making sure that all of the clocks, Lima. Smith-Milner's first foul. Every Tasmanian game that they've played so far, in every Phoenix game that I should say so far, whoever's in front at halftime wins. So they'll have to buck the trend.
That's eating a ball.
That's how you eat a ball. That's a full bite of a ball. But at halftime, it's Tasmania who lead 38-35 at MyState Bank Arena. A really, really good showing from Tassie in their first game since January the 1st.
Well, it is. I mean, they've been outstanding. The defensive pressure's been there, which has made the turnovers that they've forced also go to some unforced areas as well from the Phoenix. Well played.
Here's Anthony Stewart courtside.
Yeah, Will, outstanding first half by yourself. 3 get me out of here block shots, couple of assists, some points, half a dozen points. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. I think as a team, we're not really capitalising on our stops. You know, they're high volume offense, and I think we really need to put the ball on when we create turnovers and whatever. So it's a good first half from us, but, you know, we've got a long way to go in the second.
Yeah, Coach Roth, rotations are really heavy right now. Is that something you talked about before the game?
Yeah, I mean, we've always been a team, just go as high as you can, next guy's in, and we all trust each other, so we're just working ourselves till we have to need a sub and then get the next guy in.
All the best in the second half. Thanks Will.
Jack Jumpers up by 3 at the main break, 38-35. They're looking for win number 3. They're doing a lot of things right so far for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. A lot for them to address at halftime, and plenty for us to address at halftime as well. You're watching Sunday Hoops and the Hungry Jacks NBL. Half-time in the Hungry Jacks NBL. You're watching Sunday Hoops, and the Tasmania JackJumpers are leading it by 3 at the break. 38-35. They've been shooting the ball well. 45% from the field. They've been forcing the Phoenix into turnovers, and they've been working together, Liam Santamaria.
Yeah, really great first half from the JackJumpers. Clint Steindl came off the bench, knocked down a couple of triples. Geez, Kyle Adnam was big off the bench for the Phoenix as well. Both benches outscoring the starters, to be honest. But the JackJumpers, they've just controlled the tempo of this game. Their pressure has caused trouble. Their rim protection from Will Magnay has been terrific. And as a result, it's a low-scoring, dour affair that plays to the hands of the JackJumpers. There you go, no player in double figures to begin this game. Adnam and Creek leading the way for the Phoenix. McIntosh and Steindl, the leading scorers for the JackJumpers. But both teams shooting it reasonably well, you know, in the 40% from the field, nearly 40% from 3 for the JackJumpers. The Phoenix have missed some really good looks from long range from a couple of their key guys. Southeast Melbourne winning the rebounding count, but what's not on there are the 12 turnovers from the Phoenix in that opening half. 8 different guys committing a turnover at some point in those first 2 quarters. That'll be the focus for Simon Mitchell and the Phoenix at half-time.
Are they a little off today, the Phoenix, or is that selling Tasmania and their good work short?
No, they're flat. For sure. This is what the JackJumpers do. They put the pressure on, and if you're not at 100%, then they'll take advantage. But the Phoenix, they look a little like they did last week against Brisbane, where they're flat, sloppy, not playing to their potential.
Let's get to Pete Hooley at the Analysis Centre. He's taken a good look at how it's all unfolded in this first half. Pete?
Well, guys, besides the turnovers, we spoke about the way the Phoenix are trying to defend the on-ball. Now, they've signed Brandon Ashley. He brings a different dimension to the way that Joe Chi does it. So we look at Joe Chi, played the first 4 minutes of the game. He likes to stay in a drops. Now, this was the second 3-ball that the Bigs hit against the Phoenix. So you keep an eye on Joe Chi right here. He was better in this at the level, but he likes to play a bit of a drops where he sags off. Now, Xavier Munford tries to come across and do a little stunt to get back. Krislovic just came into the game. Look at the gap here from Joe Chi to Krislovic. He wants to eat that up. That is a wide open 3-ball, hands down. That's what they want to get. Bullets did it last week as well. Now we talk about Brandon Ashley, completely different to the way Joe Chi defends on balls. This is more aggressive. This is what the Phoenix like to bring when he's in it. So they call him up. Now watch the level here you're going to see from Brandon Ashley. He's going to fly out, have a little play on the ball there, knowing that when the big man rolls Will Magnay, Mitch Creek is going to either catch that roll and be ready to get to Mikhail McIntosh on a short closeout because he's not a shooter. So we play this. Look at the bite from Brandon Ashley there. Mitch Creek stunting. They're well and truly happy with McIntosh taking that 3-ball. Brandon Ashley's way more aggressive on the on-ball screen. Third big, Dane Pinot. We saw it a couple of times, no clip on it. But how's this for my coach's hat, fellas? Here's the halftime thing of the whiteboard right here. So this is the big. This is the ball screen they're setting here. You've got the guard who's going to get caught up on the screen. Joe Chi likes to play at a level here. Elite rim protector. Anything that comes down low, the guards can exploit that. Brandon Ashley's different. He's going to hedge really hard at this guard. Dane Pinot plays right on this level. It's an exceptional way to guard a ball screen because what it does, it's going to force the guards to go back, give your point guard time to recover. He's going to catch this roll. And what the Phoenix really do well is everybody helps out on the backside. 3 different bigs, 3 different looks. It's a good thing for them to work with. But they need to look after the ball on the offensive end.
That is very, very good by you, Pete. I'm in awe of that. He's thrown some funky stuff at us today, but it's all making a lot of sense.
No, it was bang on. He's right. And that's going to work to their advantage over the course of the rest of the season, having all those different looks to go to defensively. But they need Joe Chi to be much better in this second half at both ends of the floor.
And a part of that might be the form of Will Magnay, who's been switched on from the start. They've been careful with the amount of minutes that he's played. Only been out there for 11 minutes, but good things are happening when he's there. 6 points, 4 rebounds, and as Stewie said at halftime, 3 big blocks.
Well, that was one of the first plays of the game, and getting him as the lob man above the rim, and his rim protection has been elite. And this is what makes him such a unique player. He has the ability to guard the ball screen like Brandon Ashley, as Pete showed, get out and be active and stop the ball, but also has the ability to recover and then block shots and protect the rim. So a really nice first half from Will Magnay.
If you'd like to play like Will Magnay and all of the pros, thanks to Bunnings Warehouse, then you've got the chance. They're giving you your very own court at home. All you need to do to enter now is go to win.nbl.com.au/Bunnings.
I was out there every day, so I think if I had a full court, you wouldn't get me inside.
Most of the games I played on the lower hoop, just to show my supreme athleticism.
I only worked on shooting, which is why that's really all I can do.
When you're 8 years old or 10 years old, it's the best thing in the world.
I had a basketball hoop and a little trampoline. I used to play back there for hours with my brother and get beat up a lot, but it was a lot of fun in the meantime.
I hope that one day when I grow up, I'll be able to give my kids a court at home as well.
That's where I lost a lot of games to my brother at.
It started at this height, and every year I got older, it moved higher and higher until I got to 10 foot, and I'm doing the same with my kids back at home.
My dad built one, so I had a little bit of like a half court going on, and that made my life the best, so I could never complain as a kid.
And that was kind of like our sanctuary, our getaway from everything.
And we're not too far away from a restart here on Sunday Hoops. The JackJumpers up 3 at half-time. There's plenty of upside for Tasmania as well. Josh Adams just 2 points going into half-time.
Yeah, rough first half for their team-leading scorer, but I'd tell you, a lot of pressure on the Phoenix coming into this second half. Highly talented team, supposed to do big things this season, but 2-game losing streak, and really should be able to get this done, but didn't put their best foot forward in that first half.
It's a good start here. Good pressure from Munford getting a turnover on the jet. For Josh Adams, the 2 points. He's now on the season got 10 assists to 18 turnovers on the season. 4 turnovers in this one, no assists.
Brokoff trying to get his game going. That's a nice move. Chi tips it in.
That's his second bucket, Joe Chi. You mentioned late in that second quarter he was on a donut. Actually, he had that one throwdown in transition. They gave that dunk to Mitch Creek on the stats to begin with. That's been rectified. So Chi, 4 points, 2 boards.
I can see how you would confuse Mitch Creek and Joe Chi as well.
Mumford, that's another guy that they're going to look to get going in this second half. 2 points, 1 of 4 from the field.
Magnay had his shot blocked. Nice defensive work from Munford, and Creek got to the other end really quickly and sliced through the Tassie D.
Well, there's no stopping that. Mitch Creek with a head of steam. And the defense isn't set. It's a tough cover in transition.
And in the first minute of the third quarter, Phoenix put themselves in front. Adams trying to be aggressive, was bodied off. It's only been going a minute or just over, but you can already see the energy's there. Will Magnay smashes that into the Derwent.
Goodness gracious, Will Magnay's having himself a block party. Good timing. This is the Will Magnay everybody expected to see. Elite timer when it comes to blocking.
Foul on McVeigh.
This is the Will Magnay, who was runner-up in most defensive player of the year voting 2 seasons ago. Rim protection, shot blocking, back on display this afternoon.
Are they at the point, Tasmania, or is there a bit of a roadmap here? Like, could this become Will Magnay's team?
Well, he's the kind of build the franchise guy from a local perspective.
Yeah.
The question is, does he want to hang around? You know, he signed with this team on a 1-year deal with the idea of, you know, Scott Roth helping him to get back to the association. Well, I'm not sure if that's quite going to happen at this point. So, does he want to stick around? If they can convince him to, sure, that's a guy you can build around. You need to have a local that is your guy. Chris Golding at Melbourne, Nathan Sobey in Brisbane, Mitch Creek, Southeast Melbourne. If he's going to be playing at this kind of level, that's somebody you can build around.
Sam McDaniel starting the second half, played 40 seconds in the opening half, picked up 2 fouls, and that's it.
He's not going to be a 16 to 20 point scorer a night, Will Magnay. That's what you need, other guys to take the pressure off, taking the scoreboard over. Good out of bounds play there. Good read from Josh Adams. Good pass from Josh Magette. That's his 7th assist.
Phoenix had scored the last 6 before that.
Incidental contact. Right, just watch the bumping though. Right, Will, Joe, I've just spoken here, just the bumping.
Josh Adams' second foul. There's Xavier Munford. Top 10 in the competition for points per game and assists. It's been a little quiet in this first half. Off the inbound, that's a beautiful little pass from Mitch Creek for Chi.
That's the passing from Mitch Creek. Again, on display, just makes good decisions, has really good timing on those plays. It's tough to stay in front of as he slices his way to the rim, but Also a willing passer, always looking at dime up the big fella.
%52% from the line this season. He goes 2 from 2. Here's the quarter-by-quarter breakdowns. It's a very different Phoenix team to start this third quarter. And they give away the foul that time, but I'd imagine Simon Mitchell probably won't mind that. They're all up and in on the Jack Jumpers at the moment.
They're up the floor. Off the free throws, you get Mitch Creek face guarding the inbounds. And you're right, you can sense it, you can see it. The much more pep in the Phoenix step to begin this second half.
It's only been going 2 minutes. Tasmania, on the other hand, have already got 3 fouls. It's been a significant problem so far in this game. Travel. Happened right in front of the Tassie bench. They weren't missing that one.
Well, I like the idea. There's no real matchup for Mitch Creek on the floor. They're on the ball. Everybody move. We know he's a willing passer.
It's unfortunate.
Just saying, you slipped. It's unfortunate, but I still have to call it.
Was there a little bit of Casper Ware pull the chair type of stuff from Josh Majette as well?
It might have been. It's really all you could do. Oh, Mitch Creek's strength. Gotta back him down.
$43-40 at MyState Bank Arena. Midway through round 8 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Adams just can't get going today. Tassie will get another chance. In the earlier game today, the Sydney Kings winners 97-73 over the Brisbane Bullets. And tomorrow night, we're back at the Wynn Entertainment Centre for the Hawks and the 36ers. Majette gets beyond Munford and is fouled.
Good execution from Josh Majette. I like the way he's gone about it this afternoon. 8 assists already early in this third quarter, and that's when the Jack Jumpers are at their best offensively, when he has a mindset of setting up his guys. And then from there, now the defense is playing you for the pass, then you can start to be a little bit more aggressive. And I like he hasn't just been hoisting it from long range. No really ill-advised threes today. And there he draws the contact on the snake dribble, gets to the strike.
15 points on New Year's Day. And their loss to Melbourne United. 1 point the difference. The Jack Jumpers, who led it by 3 at half-time. Broke-off lost his direct opponent. Nice pass out for Creek. Tasmania crashed the glass by committee. McIntosh, nice drive.
He's been very aggressive. The moment he stepped on the floor in the first quarter, McIntosh got 7 points. Just putting his head down, going at the smaller Liafa. Then you see Joe Chi coming across to block that shot. That's what Joe Chi does well. Will Magnay's been timing them well today, but if as a guard defender, you can do enough to just try and keep your body in front and make someone have to take a different shot than they would like when they're trying to get to their spot. If they get deep enough, Joe Chi's going to come from behind and try and send it. Save him up for getting a breather. And that's what you need, and they've been good at in the start of the season. If Joe Chi comes across to try and block a shot to help out, someone else has to crack down on the Will Magnay right now to make sure he doesn't get an easy offensive rebound.
6 points and 4 assists for Magnay. 5 blocks. They're getting bigger and harder and more aggressive every time.
Jeez, and he is not done yet. We've seen some of this before from Will Magnay, some games where he has just owned the paint and he's having fun out there, sending shots away.
Not sure what Mitch Creek was thinking, trying to see if the 2 will count. Chi Follows up, closes the lid. JackJumpers almost gave it back to the Phoenix here. Full court press. Simon Mitchell goes to this type of structure when it's in the second half and he's wanting to change the result. Adams for Magnay, stuffs it down.
Will Magnay just flying above the rim at both ends.
Response from Liafa, pretty good too.
Beautifully timed pass from Josh Adams. Joe Chi caught in no man's land.
Adams takes it himself this time. Late for the foul, nothing doing. Broke off in transition. Splash.
This pass from Josh Adams right on the spot. And Will Magnay goes up and gets it.
Let's get some instant heat by welcoming back the Tasmania jump squad to My State Bank Arena.
Beautiful combination for the JackJumpers.
Timeout. Phoenix up 5. Simon Mitchell on his way to address the troops.
From an offensive standpoint, hey, we're getting at the rim, getting some good looks. Magnay's cleaning it up, okay? So we've got to use ball fakes, get him up. He's going for it every time. Well, if we come in and we got an angle on that, Joey maybe just trail a little bit, we can dump it off to you, okay?
They're
get on the rim.
Loading up. They're really loading up.
Everyone's
When this is here, we play two-man game. Roll, 45 cut. Joe's going to be here. I told him I'm throwing it up. Or we're going to have bounce pass. Quarter-man lift up.
Hey, McIntosh, he's coming downhill in their 4 action. We got to make sure we level him off, okay? Don't let him get us inside out move. He loves it once he gets to the middle of the floor on that one. Okay, keep him going in one direction. Hey, we're red on right here. Red on. 1, 2, 3. Go home.
You can hear Simon Mitchell saying we need to level him off, and this is what we highlighted at halftime. And as you said, Liam, Joe Chi caught in no man's land. He wants the guards to level the play off, get in front, because if you don't, Joe Chi's playing that kind of drops coverage, better lever at the ball. See how he's dropping? He has to get to a decision. He doesn't know, do I commit or do I stay back and protect the rim? Josh Adams times it perfectly, just waits for the last second. Joe Chi just caught, unsure of whether he should fully commit or just stay back. Throws it up there, and no one's going to come close to getting Will Magnay once you bring Joe Chi away.
Steindl. Shot on the 3 out of the timeout. 5 blocks for Magnay. Career best is 7 against the Phoenix. 2020. That's what they're talking about. Throw it up for Chi.
Well, that's what you got to do to punish Will Magnay, is that help defender. He's only got the 1 block on his guy, Joe Chi, recovering in an offensive rebound situation. But as the help man, he's been coming across. And in that huddle, they were saying, find ways to get it to Joe Chi. Beyond that help defense, over the top, maybe the bounce pass. Beautifully set up from Liafa.
A 9-0 run right now, the Phoenix. They've changed the game and made a lot of necessary adjustments in the 3rd quarter. Now it's Tasmania's turn to do exactly the same thing. Majet into the keyway, doesn't score from close range. Adnam up ahead, pulling up for 3. Knocked down 2 of those in the first half. Not that time, though. A little stagnant this trip down the floor. Tasmania, a lot doing. McIntosh, late in the clock. This has been sensational D from the Phoenix.
Well, that's the levelling off Simon Mitchell, and it was Kyle Adnam on Josh Majet. Joe Chi's playing defense the same way. They're not going to change the way that he plays. There's a foul on Majet. Kyle Adnam just fought his way over the screen, got his body in front of Majet, which really just saved everybody else. No one had to help. And Mitch Creek did the same for McIntosh. That's exactly the kind of defense they need from the guards to protect Joe Chi in those situations.
As you say, you mentioned the words there, no one else has to help. I mean, drops coverage has a kind of a bad reputation here around NBL traps because of what happened with Sydney and Bryce Cotton a couple of years ago. But this is how they defend most on-ball situations in the NBA and certain other places around the world. It's become very popular, and Joe Chi's very, very comfortable in it. And the idea is, if you do it effectively, you don't get into rotations. You don't have to. You can handle that two-man game with those two defenders. But it involves, as you say, both the big man taking away the roller and the guy guarding the ball doing a good job to get back in front of the ball and make that tough. And they've forced in these last couple of possessions, they forced Josh Adams, that man there on the left of your screen, into an awkward floater. Josh Majed, he wasn't able to get anything off that action, so it's been effective for them in these last few minutes.
Well, the Phoenix has done well to look after the ball here in the third quarter. Just one turnover so far, but they are dominating the rebound count. 30 rebounds to 16 of the JackJumpers. Almost double. They've got 8 offensive rebounds, getting extra opportunities.
Nice cut. Steindl jumps up for the dunk.
What? Oh my.
Maybe it's the thinner air in Tasmania. Something we see a lot of.
No, you've seen Clint Steindl inside the three-point line, let alone above the rim.
That was explosive, wasn't it? The upper fell asleep, and quick cut. 2 hands.
Okay.
Throw down from Steindl.
Your reaction here on a foul down there. Come on.
I think he shocked himself a little bit there, Clint Steindl.
He has been an outstanding selection as captain of this team. Really, really smart, understanding decision by Scott Roth of knowing what this group would need. It didn't necessarily have to be their best player. He's led from example from their opening game.
He has that championship experience. Of course, there you see him quickly running in, huddling up with McIntosh, Krislovic, get everyone on the same page. He's also a guy that, he might not be their best player, but he's certainly a very, very good player.
Oh, my word.
So it's not a guy that, you know, you're not sure, geez, are we going to roll back with him at the end of year one? Yeah, you are. You're going to have him around to build this organisation. Set the values, set the culture. And they've only won a couple of games so far, but I think they've done a good job of those sorts of things so far. Phoenix Creek at them. Turnover, bucket in transition.
They are dialing up the defensive pressure in this third quarter. And it's paid dividends for them. The Phoenix. There they are again. Creek, Chi, Brokoff, all involved. Creek for 3. Now it's starting to become a big problem for the home team.
Well, that was always going up. Mitch Creek. Smells blood in the water. Full court pressure. It was probably about 4 minutes ago. Scott Roth was screaming at his other guards when Sam McDaniel was on to be that release pressure up the floor. You get the turnover. Mitch Creek gets on the rim here, and then they get a stop down the other end. A little bit of help by committee. Right, Brokoff's in there, Joe Chi's cleaning it up. Mitch Creek playing defense with his chest, and then that's a high percentage shot these days for Mitch Creek. Coming into this game shooting 15 of 29 from 3.
27 of 10 in the third quarter. Creek sits down with 15 points. Leading scorer in the game. Steindl got open. Work by Brandon Ashley in his first game as a Phoenix player. Krislovic off the glass that time. Tarangi. Shot clock at 3. Krislovic stayed in front. That's nicely done. That ball didn't hit the rim. JackJumpers play through that. McIntosh. 9 points, all of those coming in the first half. Krislovic spinning into the paint. There's that help again. Ashley and Brokoff working together.
As Liam said, this is what they have been good at. It's the way they play. Ryan Brokoff coming across to help, and then Brandon Ashley coming to help as well. And on the backside, everybody's come in to help out as well. And that's what last week against the Bullets, they were slow out the gates. We know they had that long layoff, but every step when everybody was trying to help each other, they weren't fighting over screens. When you're playing your drops coverage like that, and you're playing your whole defensive setup a step slow, you're not helping each other, you're going to get exposed. But this is what we've come to expect from the Phoenix.
On the other end, late in the shot clock, that's where Ruben Tarangi needs to get the ball to Kyle Adnam. Dribble handoff, get it to your point guard. We know he can make plays in that situation. 9 points for Adnam tonight. Let him make plays late in the shot clock.
They're last in the competition, Tasmania, for points scored in third quarters. It's been a problem for them again today, but there's a reason for it. There's an explanation, and that's what the opposition have done and how difficult they've made life for Tasmania.
It's been a good response. As we spoke about it to begin this third quarter. I mean, there was pressure on this Phoenix team coming into this game, but certainly into this second half. Down 3. They'd thrown the ball all over the gym in the first half. And this is a game that they really should be taking care of. So good response out of half-time as they've dominated this third period.
And I like their full court pressure. We're talking about their depth. So you can play that. If you keeps working, you can keep getting up the floor, telling guys to go all out for a couple minutes. And if you absolutely need a sub, got elite bench guys to come in. Cam Glidden off the bench. Kyle Adnam, we know what he brings off the bench offensively, but everyone who can come in can have a huge impact. That's the way they want to play up and in defensively.
Adams found Steindl. He found the bottom of the net. 14 points for the skipper.
4 triples for Steindl. 50% from out there. That stroke is pure.
Keeps them in the hunt. Creamed off target. 90 seconds before three-quarter time. Been a really impressive third quarter from Southeast Melbourne. Steindl thought about it that time. Decided discretion's the better part of valor.
I think he got halfway up there and realised he didn't quite have the same level of elevation. And here he is catching and splashing from long range, and then just thought, oh, no, hold on, I'll just...
Well, some people are 1-foot jumpers, some are 2, and then there's the athletically gifted who can do off either. Once he got his gather, he realised, I'm a 1-foot jumper.
I'm a 1-foot man.
Which one were you?
I'm a no-foot man. A good warm-up dunker.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that either from Creek. Leads 12. That's a travel. It's Fabian Krislovic. After today, the JackJumpers will travel to the Adelaide Entertainment Centre on Friday to play the 36ers, and then Sunday back here at MyState Bank Arena as the away team, though, against the New Zealand Breakers in a game that has been rescheduled. Free throws for the Phoenix.
Well, Brandon Ashley on the line here. He's 0 of 2 tonight, Gateway Burgers. He knocks one of these down. All 11 players, so the Phoenix will have hit the score sheet. Talk about depth. Sharing the ball around. Kyle Adnam's got 10 points. He's in double figures. Mitch Creek, 17. Joe Chief, 14. Big second half. I apologise if you...
Sure, he's not going to leave you hanging.
He can't, can he? That's a great stat.
He has. Oh, he might get another chance now. Still going. There we go.
Thank you, Brandon. We got there eventually.
He worked hard for it.
That's just, yeah, speaks volumes to their depth. Everybody coming in, having a little impact.
It's going to be a double-digit lead at three-quarter time. Krislovic backs in. With the Phoenix with the last possession of the quarter. Adnam thought he was fouled. Ashley blocked. Sloppy end of the term. What can't be questioned is the third quarter performance of South East Melbourne. They've roared back into this contest and lead 67-53 with a quarter to play on Sunday Hoops. You're watching Sunday Hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL, and it was a big third quarter from the South East Melbourne Phoenix, outscoring Tasmania 32-15. And they lead by 14 with a quarter to play.
They got motoring in that third term, didn't they? South East Melbourne outscored in each of the first two quarters, restricted to just 12 points in that second quarter, the Phoenix, and came out with a vengeance, 32-15. They won that fourth term, and the JackJumpers, they need a little bit more offensive output from their import duo, Josh Majette, Josh Adams. They tee one up from the corner, comes off. 10 points combined, 4 of 21 from the field, 0 for 7 from 3. Josh Majette has the 9 assists, but they need those guys to help tick the scoreboard over in this fourth quarter if they're going to claw back.
The South East Melbourne Phoenix are the best fourth quarter team in the competition. Adnam fills it up. They average 26 points a game in fourth quarters, the Phoenix. The next best is Brisbane with 20. You don't see a differential like that in the quarter-by-quarters. It speaks to their depth, it speaks to their fitness, it speaks to their scoring power.
And it's just a tough offensive set. Credit the Phoenix defense, but just a bit of miscommunication between Will Magnay and Clint Steinel. Clint Steinel setting a bit of a big punch screen, trying to get Magnay to dribble the ball as if he was a guard, but he picked the ball up, so they had nothing from that. And then in the end, it was good one-on-one defense to force Adams into another tough shot, and his night continues to be a struggle.
Let's check in with Anthony Stewart, courtside.
Yeah, I got to listen in to Coach Ross' three-quarter time speech, and we're 5 home games in, and I've never seen him as vocal as what he was there. He feels like they've taken the fight away from them, and they're playing like they're 30 down. They've just got to play harder, move the ball, and get on the ring, and let the result speak for itself.
Yeah, they were disappointing in that third quarter, Liam.
No doubt. Scott Ross calling for a response. They draw the offensive foul right there, but We talk about Josh Majette, Josh Adams. That last possession down before you were talking about, Pete, from a defensive perspective, best case scenario, what you're trying to achieve is to force a contested mid-range pull-up. So if you're as the offense, you're kind of letting the defense off the hook if you resort to that. So Josh Adams, he just needs to get on the attack, get his knuckles on the backboard, get his head on the rim, some pressure on the defense.
Majette, only 2 made field goals in the game himself. Kenyon had to fire away. Shot clock ticking down.
Right on cue, as Liam was saying. And you know, Mitch Creek's ability to switch onto guards and everybody moving around. A non-shooter, Matt Kenyon, taking a contested 3-ball.
Scott Roth calls for the JackJumpers to run and explore early in the clock. Kenyon taking the 3-ball again. Phoenix, I think, will live with that one. They're on a 7-0 run right now. You can bet your bottom dollar that they're far from done. They were disappointing in their performance last weekend against the Brisbane Bullets. Good teams bounce back, and that's exactly what they've done in the 3rd quarter. Majette drains his first 3 of the day.
Well, that's more like it from Josh Adams. Didn't settle. Attacked the rim, drew the help as they all came to him under the rim, and then you pitch it out to a wide open shooter.
Sunday hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Well, it's back to 14, the difference. Josh Majette, 9 points on 3 of 11 shooting. Still very much a work in progress for the JackJumpers, Liam. At what point do they start to contemplate? Is it too early to start to contemplate year 2 of the roster? Do you at least have one eye on what the future looks like?
I think you've got to always be looking ahead. They got a tough situation there with some of those contracts that they put in place in the lead up to their inaugural roster. So that's going to make things tough. But for sure, I mean, you're already looking to see what you might be doing as this year progresses, and certainly going into future seasons.
$70-56 at My State Bank Arena. Mitch Creek, the leading scorer, with 17.
Well, it's been a nice little game for Brandon Ashley. I mean, he's played the 13 minutes. He has missed all 4 free throws, but he's got 9 rebounds, 4 of them on the offensive end. That's what Brandon Ashley can bring. He's going to bring a nice little vibe to different rotations that Simon Mitchell can work with. And it was just great to see that you'd think with Brandon Ashley signing that it's going to slowly shuffle Dane Pinot back as well with Smith-Milner. But to be able to throw Dane Pinot out there and him to have his impact in 5 minutes, just to know that you're going to have guys to come in who are going to stay ready, is going to really help them be tough down the stretch.
I guess because we've had a significant amount of disruptions in the last month, Halls, with postponement of games and whatnot. There's still a long way to go in the season, isn't there? Like, teams are very aware of that. I mean, in the Phoenix case, they've only played 5 games.
Well, they have, and you're right. It's just all about building, getting that continuity going, finding those rotations, what works well against certain teams. No doubt you're going to be led by that man there, Mitch Creek. And there's Brent. Brent actually is flying everywhere on the offensive glass. This makes Simon Mitchell thrilled to see.
It's an interesting point you make, Jack, and it's well made, but at the same time, there are some coaches, some teams out there who recognise, like, this is a short season, 28-game season. Before you know it, it's gone. It's not like last season where you had those extra games, 36 games because of the NBL Cup. And you heard Brian Goorjian speak after their last loss saying, he said, look, we feel like our season's on the line. Now, that might be stretching it a little bit, but he recognises the fact that, you know, if you start to let some games slip away that you really should be closing out or getting, things can get away from you.
Third on the ladder coming into today, the Phoenix. Brisbane going down earlier today means that they lose their position in the top 4.
And you just start to, as you're talking about, Liam, you just start to fall into those bad habits that start to show up a lot. And that's probably where Brian Goorjian, he was talking about their defense. And if they don't fix that, and it just becomes something that they're always going to have to worry about. You're talking about some of the elite offensive teams around the league. Phoenix are one of them. When we see them start to play like this with their depth. So it's just about trying to make sure you don't see that too often. Otherwise, they can just become annoying when they pop up throughout the season.
Well, especially when you're healthy. You know, like you're a team like Illawarra, you've got your whole team that's healthy, nobody really injured at the moment. You've got to be trying to get these wins. And Illawarra last season, they got those early wins where when they did reach a little bit of a lull midway through the season, nobody could take those wins away. Yeah. And then you end up qualifying and playing in a semi-final series. So a lot of these teams mindful of that right now.
And if you're the JackJumpers, we know about their roster, and you talk about who has to lead them. Their energy is going to be something they really have to do and have to produce every single night. They were great in the first half, fell away, but you need your imports to deliver. And Josh Adams, 4 points, 2 of 13, struggling again. Josh Majette's done well with those 9 assists. McIntosh has looked good when he's been out there. You're not going to get the 15 to 20 points a night from other guys like Sam McDaniel. He's a 3-and-D type player. Will Magnay isn't that type of offensive production. So you need the guys you signed to be those scoring guards to step up.
72-56. McIntosh, talking about imports, he's had a better game today after he had the acid put on him during the week. There's the #1 shot blocker in the league doing his business, Joe Cheat. McDaniel. Gets the ball back for the JackJumpers and then runs the floor. He's forced into a tough shot. Nice D from Munford, who we haven't seen a lot of today, Xavier Munford. Just 2 points on 1 of 6 shooting. Averaging 17 across the season.
Well, he's in a very different situation, Pete, isn't he, to those JackJumper guard imports. You know, the depth of this Phoenix lineup. He can have a game like this from time to time. You know, and Kyle Adnam has 13, Mitch Creek. They've got all these other talented guys that aren't taking up import spots. And, you know, the team can still get the job done. But for the JackJumpers, as McDaniel drills that one, they need Majette and Adams ticking the scoreboard over and really playing at a star level, game in, game out, for them to get wins on the board.
And it's what we've seen from them, especially when they play at MyState Bank Arena. Yes, they've got players to get highlight plays. We've seen them with Will Magnay, but it's been their energy, their defense, when they play at home, that's helped the crowd get involved, and that's when they can really trouble some teams. That game they lost by 4 to United on New Year's Day. They were up and in. They were playing energetic. They were trying to harass on the defensive end. The crowd was involved with those kind of plays. It's not going to be a highlight play every time down the floor. You've got to hang your hat on something else.
They haven't been able to find a way to keep Mitch Creek quiet for the entire game. They might have been able to stop him early, but as some of the best players in the competition do, and he's one of them, very hard to keep them down for 4 quarters.
He's found his way to the cup, hasn't he? So tough in transition as he strides his way past the defense and gets to the rim. He's so strong, he's explosive, and he's quick. And he's got to the rim, he's finished above the rim, and we know he can also hit it from long range. Just 1 of 4 tonight, but shooting over 50% from out there on 6 attempts a game. Look at all the green dots around the bucket. That is a highly efficient, some highly efficient work there around the rim. And a nice afternoon's work from Mitch Creek, a game-leading scorer with 19.
SodaStream shot chart.
Greek got to the spot. Magnay's cutting, hit, he goes down.
Okay, cool.
He'll be sitting down with 4 minutes to go. That might be enough. Simon Mitchell may have decided that that'll do him. They have a game on Tuesday in Gippsland, regional Victoria, which is a big basketball area. And they take on the Taipans. Halls, you're going to be there.
Will be. Coming from a Jack White area. Yeah.
Dean Vickerman area as well.
We're going to keep talking all season really about the depth as Joe Chi tries to go at Will Magnay. Oh, good up and under. That's one way to get a shot blocker out of the way. Throw the fake. Joe Chi up to 16 points, but Ryan Brokoff, we know he's struggling to shoot the ball that we come to expect. He's got 10 rebounds in this game. Just finding other ways to be productive out there until his shot starts to drop and those floodgates open.
Knocked down for McDaniel at the free throw line. Been a frustrating day for him. Found himself in foul trouble really early. He's had to spend a lot of this game as a spectator. Tauranga at that time. Nice drive, McIntosh. He did everything but finish. Have you seen his game, Liam, as they get it back here, the Jack Jumpers? How have you seen McIntosh this afternoon?
A little better. I like his aggression, for sure. I like the fact he's trying to get to the hoop, but his activity's been good. But
is it enough to keep the Wolves away from the door?
Oh, I don't think so. I think so. I think Scott Roth, the message will stay right where it is to Mikhail McIntosh, 2 of 8 from the field. Got to the free throw line, which has been nice, been able to put 9 points on the board, but you know, all 3 of those imports, Majet, 3 of 13, Adams, 2 of 14, McIntosh, 2 of 8, that is nowhere near efficient enough and enough offensive production from those 3 imports.
Jack Jumpers forced the turnover. Steindl trying to fill it up one more time.
That's the defensive pressure. It's hard to sustain it for an entire game, but that's what they can do. Just random traps, just try and get up and in, be aggressive, try and turn the ball over.
Liafa, beautiful pass for Creek, who's open for 3. 1 of 5 from deep today. Magnay got Chi up in the air and then drew a foul. Eight points, 5 rebounds, 5 blocks for Will Magnay. He steps out for 3 this time around. Creek drives, took it at Magnay, forced into a tough shot, but the foul came after that.
It's been a great second half from Joe Chi. Another rebound here, 8 rebounds for the game, 16 points at the moment, a couple blocks. Now those turnovers early. What they've done really well, they haven't changed the way he's defending anything. They just put more emphasis on the guards to make sure you don't get screened, help out that drops coverage, and everyone else helping behind him. When you're that elite at what you do in terms of altering shots, being a shot blocker, there's no need to change anything. You've just got other people who have to lift the way they're guarding things, behind, everybody's got to help out. And this is what we've come to expect after a really good start to the season from Joe Chi.
Some nice work from the stripe too. Yeah. Look at the big fella, 8 of 9.
A timeout call with 2 minutes remaining. Joe Chi's second half has been a really good one. So, I guess symptomatic of the Phoenix, Liam, was a bit slow to get going early, but has had a major influence the longer this game's gone.
That was his only bucket in the first half, but second half's been much more productive, as Pete outlined there defensively. He's had some help, more help from his teammates, and certainly the rim protection's always there, and then offensively, he's been able to put some points on the board. 16 second half points. And he's taken the challenge of Will Magnay and his rim protection, his intimidation inside, and he's risen to this level in the second half.
As we mentioned earlier, the Phoenix will play Cairns on Tuesday. They go back to Brisbane next Saturday for their round 9 game, and they'll be pretty keen. We spoke today about them bouncing back. They'll be pretty keen to get back to Nissan Arena, I think, and avenge the loss last weekend.
No doubt about it. And they had their fair share of excuses. Talk about COVID protocols, but as Simon Mitchell said, he didn't expect everyone to feel like they were stuck in the mud. He ran quick rotations, and no one else really lifted early. Let's not forget, they put up, I think, 70-odd points in the second half, or the last 3 quarters, sorry, after 6 points in the first. It was just they got off to such a slow start, and no one really stood up to just try and take control. As I said, they did have those excuses, but they'll want that game back.
For Melbourne basketball fans, mark down Feb 5 in the calendar. The next time, it's Pete Hooley's birthday, apparently. That's not why.
Appreciate that.
Melbourne, Southeast Melbourne at John Cain Arena.
Okay.
Feb 5.
Well, that boiled over. Last time they met, early this season, the Creek dunk on Daly, Mason Peatling getting involved, and this time Chris Golding will be in the picture.
Feb 5, your birthday, Hills. Does that mean you're unavailable that day? Or?
Nah, I'm always ready to work. Cristiano Ronaldo's birthday too, but let's figure out the hierarchy here.
2 of the great six-packs in the world. The Alpha, nice pass, broke off. Chance to fill it up one more time.
Eight, white, block.
And Tasmania will be at home next Sunday in an away game against the New Zealand Breakers. Before that, though, they'll be playing Adelaide on Friday. Seconds to play in this one. Will Magnay's first foul.
It's been a low scoring fourth quarter. Neither team in double figures in this fourth term, as the Phoenix have just held on to their lead, but I tell you, it's been a low scoring second half for the JackJumpers. Just 15 points in the third, 8 here in this fourth quarter, 23 points since half-time, and you credit Southeast Melbourne. They lifted their intensity after the major break and grabbed a stranglehold on this game.
And for Melbourne basketball fans, I might have mentioned mark Feb 5 in the calendar. Actually, don't mark Feb 5 in the calendar, and just go to the NBL website to check when Melbourne and Southeast Melbourne are playing. Clearly, I can't read my own handwriting.
Well, there's been a lot of changes, and we might be getting here a late coach's challenge, potentially.
Okay, Scott Roth.
Okay.
Is it? Scott Roth. There we go. 30 seconds to go, down 15. Scott Roth trying to get a mini win on the board. See the coach's challenge. I don't think there's a prize for the best record coach percentage-wise in the season, is there? That's what he could be going for.
What would the trophy look like?
Hungry Jack's voucher?
Oh, yeah. Can make that work.
Well, they're challenging the hands foul on Tim Steindl.
Well, Scott Roth had an incredibly good look at it. He's literally standing right in front of that play. So he'd want to get this one right.
He could have put a hand on the play himself there.
Cool.
Tasmania's turning up the heat for the Tasmanian JackJumpers inaugural season. Make sure you turn up the heat in your own home.
A message from Southeast Melbourne CEO.
Oh, here we go.
My man Tommy Greer.
Yes, Tommy.
With regards to that schedule, he said actually we're playing Adelaide Chinese New Year game.
Maybe that's what I meant.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that should be a bit of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's in fact,
He would have been a bit nervous at half-time, I would have thought.
Just going to put my hand up there and say that's a shocker. There's a lot of games, I know that much.
The coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The call on the floor will stand. The coach loses his timeout. White ball.
But regardless of all of that, Feb 5 is still Pete Hooley's birthday, so you shouldn't take that out of the calendar. Correct.
Let's lock that in.
Correct.
Jeebus, it's well, it's going to be a cracker of a game anyway.
Chinese New Year will be a good occasion for Joe Chi as well, playing on that day.
Yeah, he's one rebound away from a double-double after a slot. He's only played 18 minutes. He's got 18 points.
6 seconds left on the clock. Magnate with his 7th rebound to go with 8 points, but it's the 5 blocks that's the big number for him in this game. The Phoenix have been fabulous in this second half. Magnate's tip-in goes. Southeast Melbourne, it's been a day of responses. Sydney responded earlier, and now Southeast Melbourne respond themselves. 76-63, all second half belonging to the Phoenix.
They got the job done. Southeast Melbourne looking to bounce back from that bad loss last week, and just they were under the pump at half-time, trailing the JackJumpers, and really turned it up in the second half. And Joe Chi, huge over those last 2 periods, 18 and 9, a couple of blocks, and just worked his way into the game nicely, Joe Chi, after a slow start.
The Footlocker player of the game, he was fabulous, and the Phoenix go ahead to 4 wins and 2 losses on the season. We're back to wrap it up after this on Sunday Hoops. You're watching Sunday Hoops and the Hungry Jacks NBL. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix travelled down to Tasmania today to take on the JackJumpers. A lot of energy with the home team early on, but cooler heads prevailed, experienced heads prevailed as well, and the Phoenix prevailed by 13.
Well, they did. And slow start for the Phoenix. That's something they have to work on. Vince Steiner was great for the JackJumpers. Mitch Creek outstanding as always. And in the end, the second half, the Phoenix did what they had to do.
There's Joe Chi, Scott Roth. Scott Roth worked with him with the Chinese national team a couple of years ago, and the big fella had a good game. 18 points, 9 rebounds, the footlocker player of the game. Creek and Chi, that dynamic front court duo for the Phoenix. And look, not great shooting from either team. Look at the dominance from the Phoenix on the rebounding count. 52 to 28. They got 13 offensive rebounds, the Phoenix, and they didn't really tidy up their turnovers in that second half. Still finished the game with 20 turnovers, but ended up running over the top of the home team.
Here's the ladder, which is a good-looking ladder for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. We've seen a little bit of movement today with the result with the Brisbane Bullets earlier, but the Phoenix locked into a top 4 position.
Well, that's where they want to be. You want to make sure that you can get there, finish top 4, but also put the rest of the league on notice. They bounced back the right way, and they'll be looking forward to next week.
They most certainly will, and we are most looking forward to tomorrow as Illawarra take on Adelaide. The 36ers would love to jump ahead of that middle bracket, and the Hawks will be looking to get back on the winners list after a loss yesterday as well. On behalf of Liam Santamaria, Pete Hooley, Anthony Stewart, and our award-winning team behind the scenes, thanks for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Something I ain't done. Name a body, that's my type. Air Jordan, I take flight. I'm next level, I'm franchise. I'm top tier, I'm that guy. I'm the man of the year. I'm a man with no fear. I think like I'm a shark. The way I move so sharp. I go hard for the team. That's how I play my part. I'm solid like the foundation.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Trade. This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Amy.
Locker room hype, get ready for the drop.
Hello, welcome. You're watching the Amy Crossover. Great to have your company as always on Sunday afternoons. I'm Kath Durkin. Plenty to get through as mentioned on the call. A day of responses, Southeast Melbourne and the Sydney Kings taking home the chocolates in the 2 games this afternoon. Joining me to dissect all of that as always is Kane Pittman and Damon Lowry. Gents, we'll start with the game we just saw. The Phoenix getting the better of the JackJumpers. It was kind of competitive until half-time. The Phoenix seemingly clicking into gear in the third quarter and then managing to run away with it in the end.
The JackJumpers came out great early. They had good energy, hadn't played in a little while. They came out. I like the way he was moving the ball. Josh Majette he's getting everybody involved, had about 6 or 7 assists in the first half. And then second half, the wheels fell off. Mm-hmm. They kind of reverted back to their old ways. Poor shot selection, defensively, couldn't match the intensity. and a terrible shooting percentage cost them the game.
Yeah, is that more so the experience of the Phoenix, do you think, or is it the fact that the JackJumpers are still a little bit wanting in their first year?
Yeah, there is a talent deficiency. We've spoken about this all season, and to be quite honest, they've been open about it themselves, Tasmania, with the roster they've been able to put together, and I would describe it as business-like from southeast Melbourne today. But I think the question with the Phoenix so far this season is who's the guy? And I think they're a super team. I think they're one of the most talented rosters in the league. But when you compare them to some of the other contenders in the league, you know who the end of fourth quarter scorer is. Who is it with southeast Melbourne?
It's hard to tell. I mean, obviously Mitch Creek is going to keep the scoreboard ticking over, so I'm going to go with Mitch. But Joe Chi was good today. He's 18-9. There's days when Joe Chi is really, really good, and there's other days he's a little bit quiet. Xavier Mumford, haven't seen a whole lot of him in a while, but we know what he's capable of. So I guess on any given day, any one of those guys can step up. So they're going to need to hang their hat, I think, on their collective defense.
Yeah, it's good to see that the parts are there. We just got to wait until they kind of click into some kind of synergy. Now, we know during the week they brought in Brandon Ashley. He's been playing over in the G League over in the NBA and then went over to Italy. They've picked him up. He's no stranger to the NBL. Of course, he played for the Breakers in NBL20. But I think we kind of get a little bit excited about imports and expect them to kind of click as soon as they hit the floor. But that's not the case. He went well enough today, but, you know, wasn't a starring role.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at this game expecting 20 and 10 or whatever from Brandon Ashley, but to me, it's the lineup versatility. And we saw bits and pieces of it. We were discussing it watching the game in the back there. You can go with Joe Chi as your traditional big. You can have Dane Pinot off the bench. You can go small. You can have Brandon Ashley play the 5. We know they like to have Creaky at the 4. So it's going to take some time and they'll figure it out. Like most teams, the Phoenix haven't played for a long time. They had that one game last weekend. But I just think it's the lineup versatility that you like. It's another piece.
Absolutely. I think Brandon's going to bring that extra IQ as well to the floor. Extra experience, extra IQ. And like he came out there, he played 7 minutes early. He didn't get a shot, though. Now, I'm from the school where the imports get off the plane and they kind of get busy straight away. So I don't like this whole let's just ease him into it kind of thing. They could have gave him the ball. And
run a play?
Yeah.
Would it kill you to run a play? That's all I'm saying.
We can't all be superstars from the get-go like you,
But
David
actually, he's gonna slide in nicely, I think, because it gives him that extra rotation. So takes all the pressure off Joe Chi as well. So I think it'll work out.
It'll be interesting to see how he develops for sure. Now, the earlier game, as we mentioned, the Kings and the Bullets, they met on Friday night. The Bullets getting the chocolates there, but the Kings managing to respond today. And it was a really good all-around sort of team effort, wasn't it? They were really leading on Jalen Adams,
Jalen Adams, yeah. Yep, no, you got it.
Talking myself out of it. The other night with 33 points, but tonight all-round performance, and DJ Vasiljevic certainly starring with 23.
Yeah, the Kings. Who's the real Kings? I think this is the question mark. So to me, I was watching this game today, and as someone who's been a believer of the Sydney Kings, it's a great day. It's a great day. Yesterday was a tough one. We're back today. But I think the question mark for the Sydney Kings is, how do they have the bounce-back performance and then keep it rolling? We saw early in the season in December, they lost by 42 points to Melbourne. 2 days later, they beat Southeast Melbourne, who we think is a really good team. We saw this on Friday night. They lose to the Bullets. They bounce back today. So who's the real Sydney Kings?
Who's the real Slim Shady? Don't know. I can't tell. Today they came out desperate. You heard Xavier Cooks at halftime today apologize for getting to harden up. No, he didn't. He actually just said, we need to win this game. You know what he said?
Yes.
So, and they came out and they played with that desperation, which was great. But what happens when you're no longer desperate? The coach, you can't rely on desperation all the time. We need some consistency from the Kings. And what they showed today was great, but they caught a very flat Brisbane team, who also, I don't even know who they are anymore. One week, you got me in the top 4. Other week, I don't know.
Well, this is the thing. When we talk about consistency today, it paid off for the Kings because they got the win. They came to play. But the Bullets, they're ones that are really kind of hard to pick. I know it is a little bit patchy for a lot of teams, given the way that we're trying to manage this COVID crisis and all that sort of thing. But the Bullets are a particular team that have really struggled to find any kind of ascendancy.
I said if you were doing a tipping competition in the NBL, you would be really struggling right now. But the question I would have, and you're right, Brisbane have played, so their top level looks like it's at contender status, and then other times they'll fluctuate a little bit. But when you play two teams so closely, you would have experienced this in your time. It's very difficult to get both games because the second game, there's always one team that's motivated. They're trying to bounce back from the performance. But Xavier Cooks is the guy we should be talking about. They were up 15 points when he got ejected the other night. So they were dominating Brisbane until he went out of the game. Yeah. He was huge today. 13 points, 12 rebounds, had the 5 blocks. Maybe it's as simple as that. Is he the most important player in the Sydney Kings?
Yes. Yes, he is. He's way too important to this team. He does too much. But if you're serious about winning a championship, which I think the Kings are, you can't be up and down. You need to be able to string wins together. I don't care if you get on a flight 24 hours later with the team you just beat. You got to beat them again if you're serious about winning it. So Xavier was awesome today. DJ was awesome today. I'm looking for consistency, or you're a pretender.
Yeah. Well, one team that we're not too concerned about at the moment is the Perth Wildcats, and that's where we find your Hooyah today. Not surprising, given the amount of talent they've got to pick from.
I just said yesterday, that it's hard to beat Wollongong. Well, it wasn't that hard. So my Hooyah for today is Michael Frazier II. Now, you might look at the stat line and think, it didn't really jump off the page. 9 points, 11, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. But what Michael Frazier does is he keeps things ticking over. When Bryce is quiet, Michael keeps things ticking over. When Vic Law can't get his shot in the first quarter, inexplicable, Michael keeps things ticking over. Everybody can't always be the driver of the car, Kath. Somebody got to be able to sit in the back seat and just, when he's in the car, it's an enjoyable ride.
Yeah.
So Michael Frazier, my man, Hooyah, big fella.
You going the shot? You're
Let's
saving
take
it
the
later.
shot.
He's a bit of a Mr. Fix-It. Who's our Mr. Fix-It?
2 for 35 on the season. Struggling.
I'll shoot myself out of this slump.
Struggling.
Yeah. Speaking of fixing things, you need to fix that. Anyway, we'll get to that later on. You've got another shot coming on later probably as well. Let's head to the break now. On the other side, we're going to chat Aaron Baines and Thon Maker. A couple of big weeks for those boys. We'll be back in a moment.
Hello and welcome to another episode of At The Line. A massive schedule of NBA games coming up as you start to heat up. We're getting closer and closer to those playoffs. Still a while away, but we're getting closer. I'm Felix von Hoff. That there is Daniel Parisi. I sound like a broken record because I say it every single week. But you continue to light it up.
Very complimentary from you, Felix, but I've got the almanac and we're about to preview 2 blockbuster games in the Western Conference.
Well, we'll kick it off right now with the games in focus. Memphis and Dallas. Now, Memphis, Ja Morant, the big to look to, and Luka Doncic. Matchup, I'm assuming your bet's going to have something to do with that matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. They're both All-Stars. Ja's going to be a first-time All-Star this year. Look, I'm going to take Ja Morant to outscore Luka Doncic, and it's currently paying $1.80 there. I think that he is going to be a better closer in this game than he was a week ago when there was a blowout loss. The Mavericks were able to get hold of the Memphis Grizzlies. Both teams are streaking at the moment. At least won 10 or 12 or 13 games out of the past 15, 16. Ja averages 25 and so does Luka, but Luka has logged significant minutes minutes recently. I think Ja gets the upside on this matchup.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm a lover, not a fighter, so I'm not going to pit them against each other. Instead, I'm just going to go for unity here. 30 points for both of them, sitting at $6. Unbelievable odds there. Ja Morant, Luka Doncic to combine. Both have 30 points there. And the next game coming up, Utah and Golden State. Utah, underwhelming to say the least for me this year. I just don't think every year I go into the season thinking that they're going to be a championship contender to just let me down in the playoffs. But this year, not even a sniff.
Valid point, Felix, because the Utah Jazz currently struggling to close out on three-point shooters. We saw just a week ago the Golden State Warriors were able to bang in 10 triples combined with Wiggins and Stephen Curry. This time we're going to get 10 from Clay, who's currently hooping. He's averaging around 8 three-point attempts and making 3 per game. We know Steph can make 4 or 5. To combine for 10, we're getting $4.75. That is a bet. Thank you very much, traders.
Love it. The Splash Brothers are back, baby, and so are we next week. Thanks for tuning in, and of course, gamble responsibly.
Thanks to the gents from Sportsbet there. Now we're going to change pace a little bit. We're going to start talking about Aaron Baines because we saw some pictures emerge on Twitter during the week, which were quite pleasing because we know what happened at the Olympics, a bit of a slip in the change rooms and a dire one as well. It ruled him out for his Olympic campaign, his NBA pursuits, and then, of course, he had to be stretchered off the plane but when he got home. So good to see him back on his feet, and hopefully it means that there might be something else in the pipeline for him.
Yeah, that's the great photo right there. He's got the bronze medal in his hands, and I've been fortunate enough to talk to a lot of his bronze medal winning teammates over the last few months, and you can't tell the story of the Boomers over the last decade without talking about Aaron Baines. They love that guy. He's been such a big part of what they've done and what this culture that has been built with the Boomers. So it's just good to see him back and smiling and healthy and walking around.
Yeah, certainly is. Now another feel-good story. Thon Maker, he's been picked up in the G League. A little bit of issues with him trying to play this year because we didn't know where he was going to land. He wanted to get to the US for so long. You even thought he might come to the Kings at one point, but he has landed stateside finally.
Yeah, he signed with the Long Island Nets in the G League. Adam Capon, a familiar face, will be coaching him there. Adam has been with the COE. He's been at the AIS for a number of years, been with the Boomers program. I was talking with Thon yesterday and he texted me and he said, listen, the G League, I've matured too much to let my ego get in the way. I'm just ready to play basketball. I want to get back to the NBA. That's exactly the message you want to hear from Thon Maker.
And that's probably where he needs to be as well to do that.
You got to be on the court. I like that attitude. Let's go, Thon.
Yep, absolutely. Now, we've got a debate coming up because we've got to talk about tech fouls in the NBL. Damon, I'm going to throw this to you because you've got a bit of a pet peeve about coaches sort of mouthing off a little bit too readily at the refs when they're not too happy with the call.
And players.
Anyone, but we're focusing on the coaches.
Okay. Can we get a strap for Damon under here that says he's played 185 NBL games and never got a tech foul?
Yeah, you needed to bring that up production.
So I'm saying this, coaches, you're just banging on way too much. Referees don't want to hear you question them every 2 seconds. It's getting out of control, Kane. Every time there's a bad call, it's like, oh, excuse me. Hey, ref, watch this, watch that. These referees, you think you're working them. All you're doing is making them go off to their referee's room, their little cubby house, and they think, this guy's bugging the absolute crap out of me. So I would like to see them get slapped with quicker technical fouls just to calm them down.
I don't know if that's going to work, though. You've been around basketball for a long time, Damon, and when you say that you think they're working the referees, they are working the referees. This is what, particularly a coach like Brian Gorge, and we've seen this, he's going to continue to get in the ref's ear. He's going to say, hey, see that push down that end? See that push? And then what do the refs start doing? They start looking at that. And how many times are you watching the broadcast and then you hear the commentator say, well, there's the makeup call. That's what Brian Gorgeman was going after. They know what they're doing. And to your point, no tech fouls in 150 NBL games.
185.
185 NBL games. How often did it go the other way where you thought you got the call? You told us one occasion. That's a very poor percentage.
Now, that one makeup call that the coaches think they talk the refs into, you might get one of those a game. But for the rest of the game, you're getting on their nerves. And they don't want to just stand here and hear you debate them all the time. Trust me, these referees, unless you're saying, hello, how's the family? You're looking great. How's the kids? What are you trying to achieve?
At the risk of turning this into an ambush, you say that that's how they do it. That's just how it is. But should they be allowed to do that? Shouldn't the referees be, empowered and galvanised to kind of make those hard calls and say, no, you don't speak to me like that?
Well, I'll tell you where I do agree with you. Jimmy Butler the other day in the NBA got tossed out of a game, picked up a tech foul. We've got the footage here. Now this is crossing the line. Look at the way he approaches the official here. He got thrown out of the game. I think that's fair enough. You do have to set an example. You have to be a role model. Jimmy Butler did not do that on that occasion. That is too far. But when we're talking about Xavier Cooks getting ejected the other day for nothing, you're taking out one of the stars of the league for absolutely minimal aggression, minimal intimidation. I don't like it.
At the risk of this going for hours, because we know it can. Sorry, Damon, I'm taking the last word away from you. We'll revisit this at some other point, because it's obviously a very hot topic. We do need to get to a break, because Kane needs the floor again. We're going to go through his all-NBL first team right after this. Welcome back. You're watching the Amy crossover. Time now for the Amy breakdown. We are going to use Kane's all-NBL top 5 team to do it. Xavier Cooks, I wonder if he'll get a mention today. Another double-double today, going from strength to strength. Of course, rejected the other night, but certainly back with a bang today. Kane, over to you. Does he feature at some point?
Xavier Cooks on fire. One of my favourites in the league, there's no question about that. But we're going to start with a guy that's been in every edition of this team so far. He plays in Perth. He played his 150th game yesterday for the Wildcats. He was outstanding yesterday. The top scorer in the league right now, points per game, Bryce Cotton. He has to be in there. One of only 2 players that's been in every edition of this team so far. And we come to the second outside player here, and we saw him, we spoke about him on yesterday's show. The thing I love about Chris Goulding, 13 shots per game, 10 of those right now are beyond the 3-point arc, which is the exact appropriate ratio as far as I'm concerned. Let it fly, Chris. You're the best shooter in the league.
Now, your third man might not be there without your first man on that list. They do work in tandem, don't they?
The dynamic duo, Special Victor's unit. Vic Law again on fire, scoreless in the first quarter, only 1 shot. Damon, you weren't happy about that. Responded with 15 points in the second quarter.
Law lets you know, don't think for 1 minute just because you guys didn't give me the ball in the first quarter and didn't get me involved. I'll get myself involved, so I put the 3 ball down. I come down, I'm in transition, you can't guard me. Whack, another triple. So Vic is who he is, and the little mid-range pull-up, Jay.
Yeah, certainly going from strength to strength, and a big reason why the Wildcats are top of the table at the moment. Now, we are going to move on to your fourth player, that being Mitch Creek, I believe. He had another big day today, 19 points for him.
Yep, Tasmania today. They're up Cheat Creek without a paddle, and Mitch Creek, 19 points for Mitch Creek today. Over 50% from 3 on the season, but he's actually at his dominant best when he's putting the ball on the floor, getting to the rim. 6 of his 7 shots tonight in the restricted area. Damon can't stop him. He's the engine of this team.
Horsham's finest. Now Creek's going to get it done. He's going to just impose his will on the game in all kind of ways. In transition, you can post him up. He can step out, hit the 3-ball. He's the heart and soul of the team.
And we've spoken, and this has been a talking point over the last couple of seasons, but the way that he's improved his three-point shot, he really is the complete player. I agree with you earlier in the show when I asked who is the guy for South East Melbourne. First of all, it's a great problem to have, but I think you're right. If you put the ball in Mitch Creek's hand, he's going to be the guy that's going to get you a bucket when you need it.
Yep, and number 5 on your list.
New entrants, and we had a conversation yesterday that I thought Dwop Reith was the best big man in the league, but you have to go with consistency, and right after we went on air, Dwop Reith had a quiet game. Joe Lawala-Chul, you're in there. In 7 of his 9 games this season, he's had multiple blocks. Second in the league for blocks per game with 2.8 blocks per game. Double-digit scoring every single night. 6 of the 9 games, 50% plus from the field. JLA is having a monster season, and he had to be in this team.
There you go. Hashtag NBL crossover to get your responses into that one. You had many?
Yeah, plenty, and all positive feedback, of course.
Can't argue with that.
Any feedback's good feedback, I think. Kane Pittman, Damon Lowry, as always, great to have your company. The NBL, of course, continues all week, as is happening with all the makeup games at the moment. So stay tuned to ESPN throughout the week. Plenty of NBL action coming your way.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Amy.
All right, guys, got Scott Roth and Will Magnay here. Jared Waller, do you want to kick off?
Hey Scott, Jared from Mercury here, mate. Commiserations on the loss. I guess, what do you make of it?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a loss, but, I was kind of proud of these guys. I'd mentioned in the locker room after the game because, obviously just 20 days off, irregardless of what's transpiring, is 20 days off of a lot of rust, and a lot of these teams that were coming out of COVID, in their rest time didn't bounce back very well in their first games back. And I thought we handled ourselves very well early on with a lot of energy and a lot of passion to play. And yeah, it was a difficult game. Obviously, listen, this team's very, very talented that we just got done playing. So, congratulations to them and their success tonight. But I was happy in some ways with our group, just how we attacked the game and started the game and fought through some adversity. And it's a process, it's a building block, and we just have to continue to keep working.
Absolutely. Do you put the second half or the third period specifically down to COVID and it being the first game back? That's probably where the game was lost.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the third quarter was not good, but I don't want to blame anything really with us on COVID. We've been off 20-some days. Irregardless, we're going to have to play one game coming back of having this break. And we've worked very, very hard the last 5, 6, 7 days as guys have come out. And I think Will will probably say the same thing, that this has nothing to do with COVID at the end of the day. It's just more, to me, a little bit of rust and a little bit of that more than anything else. And, we did some really good things. We had another team, kick the ball over 20 times. We got smashed on the glass by 18, and this is probably the best offensive team, or at least one of the best offensive teams in the league. And we keep them to 76 points with all that. And so there's some positives out of there, and we'll just keep building.
Absolutely. What did you think of Will's performance, specifically blocking shots, non-perfecting kind of change for you guys?
We had a candid conversation, a couple days ago, and kind of cut to the chase with him, and he responded very well. And, I have a tremendous amount of faith in him and belief in him, of the player that he's going to continue to grow and be. And I thought he was fantastic tonight in just a lot of areas, and his energy and passion to go play was fantastic. So I was very happy for him. We're going to keep working together, as I promised him when I signed him, of increasing his exposure to everything that we need to get done here, but also to invest in him as a person and build him as a basketball player. So when the season's over with, I hope he stays with us. But at the end of the day, I want him to make sure that he's having success in playing.
Absolutely. And just one for you, Will, on the back of that, mate. Commiserations on the loss, but a great effort from you, especially on the defensive end. How are you feeling at the moment? Do you feel that was probably one of your better performances for the side, and how's your body feeling at the moment?
Yeah, I guess statistically it's one of my better games. I think more than anything, I would rather talk about the team. I don't really care how I play, but if I can block shots and we can clean up some of those rebounds, I think it really puts us in that battle, and just clean up a few of the scrappy areas where we really should be dominating. But yeah, I mean, it was, I guess, nice to block some shots, but there's a lot of stuff we got to fix this week and a lot of work we got to do.
Absolutely. On that, I know it's early on, but are there any things that you noticed out there that you think need cleaning up? As Scott mentioned, the third quarter was a bit tough for you guys. Where did you see it happening out on the floor?
Yeah, I think, like Scott said, we forced them to 20 turnovers. I think we got to slow down a little bit on offense and capitalise on that. We can't, I guess, we play really hard defensively, and I think that speeds us up a little bit. So we need to be a little bit more patient and but still really aggressive offensively. But I mean, it comes down to knocking down shots. We had a few really good open looks, a couple of missed layups, just a few communication things. But I mean, like Scott said, 76 points, the best offense team in the league. I think we can hang our hat on that. But we got a lot to work on offensively this week and a lot to build on.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Scott, Fraser here from AAP. That's one win from your last 6 outings. Where have you noticed deficiencies in your team, and where have you seen improvements over that span of games?
Well, I guess, for me, again, I don't get caught up in the wins and losses. Listen, we're very competitive and we want to win sitting here. That's why we're here at the end of the day. But for me, it's just about going through the process of competing and building this roster moving forward and into the summer or your winter and into next year, and making sure that we're building a culture and laying a foundation down of what's expected to be a jack jumper when you come in here. And obviously our offense is lagging, but again, the ball's got to go in. We have guys that aren't making shots that need to step up and make some shots that would help us across the board. Our defense has been very, very consistent. And, it is what it is at this point. We're going to keep swinging at people and getting after people, and hopefully we'll have some breakout games where the ball starts to go in and things get a little looser and freer for us. But when it's not going in, it's difficult. And obviously the third quarter again proved fatal for us of really not being able to capitalize on some open shots and got away from us.
And Will, one for you, mate. Do you think with that, if you can build your game or your roster around your defense, that'll then transition into energy on offense as well?
I think so. I think we've got to learn to capitalise on our defensive stops. And I mean, we can only do that at practice and just keep pushing. And so, I guess the challenge for me is to bring that to practice every day and, really, I guess, give the team a shot at working off those, block shots and, I guess, defensive presence to capitalise on offense. So, like I said, there's a lot to do this week, I think, for me especially. And, we've got a big one on Friday, so.
Scott, it's Andrew Kenyon from NBL Podcast. Perhaps a broader question you touched on it a moment ago. You're trying to build an identity and a culture in the club. How are you finding that, given you're having so many breaks between games? I would imagine that that's easier if you get a flow happening and you start to build an identity. Has there been a struggle with all these breaks?
Obviously, just from a player standpoint, they want to continue to play with some kind of rhythm and know that every week there's X amount of games coming towards them and that the schedule stays the same. But when I got hired for this job, I had a few things that there were absolutes for me, and the absolute is to do the right thing every single day, to show up, to do the work. I picked very high character guys across the board with us. That bought into that and continue to buy into that. They've done a great job of setting the culture within the locker room and on the bench and just how they carry themselves every day in practice. I'd like to think we're the hardest working team in practices in the league and how we come out and compete. And I'm proud of that, but I want to win. And eventually this will lead to winning, in my opinion, that you have to put in some kind of foundation. This is only 8 games and 15 players that have never played together and never experienced how to finish games and things that need to be kind of ironed out over the course of this. But I think we're on the right path of setting this team up for the coming months, moving into winter and starting the next season with the foundation that's been led by these players who have done a tremendous job of just buying in and creating a great atmosphere to be in.
Yeah, I'm actually all the way over here at WA, so it's hard to get a sense of exactly how into it the crowd is just from television. But you guys having been in the Perth environment, it looks like the crowd in Tasmania is really starting to buy in. Is that a fair comment for me to make from over here?
Go ahead.
I think so. I think they've been great. Even out in the community, everyone notices you, everyone says hello. They love it. I think we got to do a better job of getting some wins for them and really keeping them coming here. But I think they know that we're a gritty team and we want to play hard. So I think they appreciate when we're diving on loose balls and doing all that stuff. So they've been great so far. I think we've nearly sold out every home game. They've been amazing. They do really help us.
Obviously when I got here, we were trying to connect the North and the South of the state here and build a great foundation and a fan base that is continuing our quest as the season goes on, as we go to play some games, hopefully here in Launceston at some point. But this is a state team, and we want to make